Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. So, well, oh God, right, so, here we go, okay, so. Welcome to my Q&A answering session where I answer all your questions which you asked me. So sarcastic, Harry. Welcome to my Q&A answering session where I answer all the questions which you guys Welcome to my Q&A answering session where I answer all the questions you asked me in the last video where I asked you to ask me a question. Welcome to my Q&A answering session. Welcome to the channel. If you're a new subscriber, I hope you're enjoying the content. This is a Q&A answering session. I'm going to answer loads of questions which you guys asked me in a video which I posted about a week ago. So, what did you get in your GCSEs and A levels if you did them at all? I don't actually have even any GCSEs. I came out of school when I was 12, I think, 12 going on 13. So I don't have any qualifications at all, literally nothing. Do you get on with Crossfield? I mean, I've met him a handful of times. I think he's all right. How do you feel about MGTOW? I have no idea what that is. Enlighten me. Lily Waron. No way. Do you miss me, brother? So this guy, Lee, we used to play golf at the golf club together. He was 21 when I was about 14, so he was a lot more mature than I was, and I had played the game for a lot longer. So he taught me a lot about golf, and yes, I do miss you, and I need to come out to Spain and have a game with you soon. How did you turn pro, and what was your handicap when you did turn pro? Also, what would you recommend for people to do who are looking to turn pro? Keep up the good work. So when I turned pro, I was off 1. I think it was 0.9. It's obviously not the lowest I got to. The lowest I got to was +1, but then I had the 3.5 years off. Like, I had the 3.5 years off YouTube. So when I came back, I went inactive. My handicap was inactive for a while, so I had to redo that. Got back a handicap of like 2, got back down to 1, and then I decided to turn pro after shooting a couple of 3-unders around Woodbury. When you say how did you turn pro, to me it was surprisingly easy. I thought it was going to be more of a complex process to turn pro. It's actually not. All you have to do is enter a professional tournament. So say you're going to enter TB Tour, you have to be off like 2 or below. If you're going to play Jamaica, I think it's like 1.5 or 1.4 or below, so you have to be off 1 or below. And then Europro's the same, like I think it might be scratch or below. Or open qualifying, you can do it in open qualifying as well. So this is if you don't want to do your PGA. Enter a tour event like that and declare that you want to lose your amateur status. I think it's courtesy to also write a letter to your county golf union, which I did, or type an email, whichever one. So the process for turning pro is relatively simple. That's pretty much all you have to do. Just declare your loss of amateur status, enter a pro event, play in it. If you were to play a tournament and not sure whether you wanted to lose your amateur status or not, so you go into a tour event, say a Jamaica tour event or a TB tour event, you play it as an amateur, and then you were to say come 4th or 3rd, and say you were to win like 500 quid in that event. If you accepted that 500 quid, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure this is how it works. If you were to accept that money, then that would get rid of your amateur status. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm not fully educated on that. So, also, what would you recommend for people who are looking to turn pro? In what way do you mean recommend? In what position do you need to be in? Because there was a lot of reasons for me turning pro which didn't relate to playing and competing. Me turning pro also opened up a lot of opportunities which wouldn't be there with YouTube unless I turn pro. There's a lot of things I can't do, like work with golf companies and work with brands, which you can't do if you're an amateur. So that's another reason I turned pro, is to open opportunities in that respect. I also turned pro because for me at the time it was a fresh start. If you go back and watch my first video, which I uploaded after like the 3.5 year break, for me it was a bit of going all in. It completely depends on your situation. It depends on what you want. You've got to figure out a plan. I can't really recommend anything because it completely depends on the person. It completely depends on what that person wants to do with their career and with their life and where they want to be 10 years down the line. It's very hard for me to recommend anything for anyone if they're thinking about turning pro. Any future videos with Mark, my crossfield my Mark? Probably not. I don't think he likes me very much. So, do you like owls? I just had a flashback. I'm sure I did a Q&A. If this is the same guy, I'm sure I did a Q&A like 5 years ago when the channel first started, and I'm sure there was someone who asked me whether I like owls or not. Cafe del Transit. Oh, what a legend. Cafe del Transit. Mate, have you and Creature found the 2 pinnacles I lent you which you bombed over the fence today yet? So this is the guy out of the most recent video when me and Harry were on the range, and we wanted to bomb a couple tries, but we had no balls left, so we lent us a couple of pinnacles, and we did bomb them over the fence, but no, I haven't found them yet. Might go looking for them. I lost quite a few balls in the last couple of weeks. Might have to go and pick up a few pinnacles. Haven't got many balls left at the moment. Who's better at golf, you or Connig? Me. Do you think your hair looks good cut that way? I think my hair is unique. I think it's trendy. I think it's attractive. I don't care what anyone says, my lid is astounding. Any sign of a club sponsor? Yes. But I can't talk about it yet. And it's frustrating because it's probably not going to materialise until January, February time-ish. But yeah, there is pretty much 99% sure. It's just a matter of time. There's a lot of things which are happening at the moment, which obviously I can't talk about on the YouTube channel, but things are really starting to get quite big, and it is really exciting, but a lot of things I can't talk about until they actually materialise. But yeah, there is a sign of a club sponsor, and it's more than just a club sponsor as well, which is quite exciting. Which protein powder do you use? Looks like you need some. Oh, shit. So ripped. Do you want to see what protein powder I use? I'll show you which protein powder I use. I've been quite ill for the last week, so I've been able to go to the gym. But this is the protein I use. Hardcore muscle fuel. My lowest round number wise is 66, which is round Exeter Golf Club. Lowest round under par is 4 under. That's one thing I'm yet to find, is that really, really low round. I've never actually shot more than 4 under par. That's one thing I'm hoping next year I want to find, because I know what it's the same as shooting. It's the same as shooting under par for the first time. Once you've done it once, you know the feeling, you know the process of getting there. You know what you have to do it. So it's just doing it once, and then you can do it again. That's one thing that I really need to learn to do. Is I'd love to know that I can go out, and if I have a really good day, I can shoot 6 or 7 under. That's a huge bonus when you're playing tournaments, because when you go out there and you make, you know, you've shot say 3 or 4 over in the first round, and you need a big round to make the cut, knowing that you have that good round in the bag, that's a massive help. So it's one thing that next year I really need to, I think it's massively a confidence thing as well. Fitter girlfriend, gorilla or creature? I miss the rain in South Africa. I don't know, I can't answer that one. Why are you such a nonce? What was your best and worst day on the golf course? I tell you what, probably my best day on the golf course wasn't a very good score. I shot even par. Was it 1 under? I shot 1 under. I think it was 1 under. It was in the southwest of England boys, and it was my first ever bogey-free round. And I missed the last 3 greens in regulation, and I hold on 16 I hold like a 7 foot of a par, on 17 I hold like a 5 foot of a par, and then on 18 I've missed the fairway, I've missed the green by miles, and then I've hit this pit shot to like 20 foot above the pin. The pin was like on the front and the green sloped from back to front, about 20 foot past the pin. I had this 20 foot putt for, maybe it was about 15 foot actually, and then I had this 15 foot putt to shoot my first ever bogey free round, and I had the whole, like a lot of the team around the 18th green. Head coach for the county was there, Gary Milne, and I remember draining it and just giving it a massive fist pump. And worst day on the golf course is when I shot 90 in the west of England. I remember getting some stick for this back in the day when the channel was a little bit younger, again when this first all came about, and I remember I shot 90 in the west of England amateur. But what people don't realise is it was so doable. It was at can't remember whether it was at Saunton or R&D that year. I remember it being driving hail in your face. It was like 50 mile an hour gusts of wind. What was actually like outside today. It was the most ridiculous conditions, and of course I think in amateur events they're less persuaded to call it off than they are in professional events. Some of the conditions, honestly, especially in Devon, which I played in over the sort of 8 to 9 years I played solidly as an amateur, was just insane. But no, as far as worst day on the golf course goes, it was that day. I just remember getting in after that round, hands are numb, your feet are numb, and it's just like, yeah. It was that day which I actually chased my umbrella down about 3 holes. As soon as it's come out of my hand, it's just gone whoosh. What's the lowest your handicap ever got to before you turned pro? It would have been when I was about 17 years old and I was off +1, only just plus 0.6 or plus 0.7. Why do you always wear waterproof trousers? One, to make my legs look bigger, because they are, I mean, I have pretty skinny legs, and I'm a little bit self-conscious about them. So that's one reason, and the other reason is to keep my legs dry. Is probably the number one primary reason that I wear waterproof trousers. If the playing career doesn't work out, what path do you see yourself, I guess, going down? I believe I don't want to ruin the surprise. I can't actually talk about that either, because there are backup plans, but yeah, there's actually some good questions in here. It's making me think. I've got to be careful about what I say. I won't ever give up on the playing career. I won't stop competing because I love it way too much. But if I were to say take some time off and decide to do a little bit more, it would just be more YouTube and do some really well produced content. And again, I can't talk about that too much because there is a plan B which I do have, but that wouldn't happen for another good 5 or 6 years down the line. Yeah, that's way off. I mean, I've been playing golf again for a year. I also have so many ideas in my head. I'm one of those people who just like, I go to bed at night unless I write down. I have a notebook, like a to-do list, and I have a book of ideas as well. And I cannot get to sleep at night unless everything that I'm thinking about and ideas that I have are written down. I have a lot of things which I do want to do, but playing golf is my main priority, and that's the direction of the channel. I don't want to like kind of give it all away. What do you believe when you die? I don't think you believe anything when you die because you're dead. Will you ever repost some of your old videos? Some of them were smashes and I miss watching them. Yes, some of them were just hilarious. Oh my god. I do watch them back sometimes, so they're all actually on my YouTube channel, but they're unlisted, you can't see them. And yeah, I can go back and watch them, and I do watch them every now and again, some of them, and they are just... If you're a new subscriber and you never watched the channel before, like it's sort of first generation, like 5 years ago, I mean, I was just this skinniest little runt, pretty much like I am now. Just the goofiest, and I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about the old videos. Maybe I will release some of them. Let me know in the comments if you think I should make some of the older videos public. There are a couple on the channel which are public, but there are some horrific ones on there which just are not, they're just not sponsor friendly enough. They're not, they're horrific. Why does Mark Crossfield dislike you? I don't know if he really dislikes me or not. He had a little jip at James, and then I sort of backed James up. That's all. I don't think there's any dislike there at all. Oh, I feel like shit. Have you ever been to America? There's some good golf here. No, I haven't, but I really want to travel over there as soon as I possibly can. Oh my god. How often do you play your keyboard, and will you play your favourite piece for us? How do you know I play keyboard? Susie from Florida. That's really creepy. How do you know I have a keyboard? That's the creepiest question I've ever been asked. Hey Harry, every golfer has a favourite and least favourite club in their bag. What are yours? Also love the vlogs and keep them coming, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Favourite club in the bag is my 2-iron and my putter. 2-iron, my putter. Least favourite is probably my... I don't know. I don't really have a least favourite. Maybe... Oh, no, 3-wood. My least favourite club is my 3-wood. I hate that. I've got like the old Titleist F10. Why do you drive a big white van? Seriously. The reason I drive a white van is because in that sort of 3.5 year off period, I was actually a window fitter. So that's why I drive a white van. Any club sponsors on the horizon, and if you could choose one, who? I'm not answering that question. Do you have a job as well as YouTube and golf? Yes. So I work in house maintenance. Obviously, after working in the trade as a window fitter, I picked up a lot of skills. And my grandma has a 5-bedroom house. She's 87, and it takes a lot of maintenance. So instead of employing someone, she employs me. I work there about 15 hours a week, and yeah, that's what I do on the side other than YouTube. I also trade stocks and shares. Don't really make that much money from it, but like it helps me out every now and again. So what is the best course you played in the States? I've never been to the States, but like I said earlier, somewhere I really want to go quite soon. Maybe next year I'll hopefully be able to get over there, and USA will win the Ryder Cup. It's gonna win it. Are you using strokes gain stats concept used on USPGA Tour, and could you provide some golf stats more regularly so we could better follow your game? No, I don't use strokes gained, and I should, and I need to learn how it works. I have no idea. Well, I have a slight understanding of how it works, but I need to look more into that and look into using it. Maybe someone can enlighten me on that. How are you doing, mate? Pretty good. Longest drive hole out ever. Oh shit, I hit a massive drive. I was really young as well. It wasn't like it was an actual big drive. It was a hole at, I think it's Yeovil Golf Club. Pretty sure it's Yeovil Golf Club, and I think it's the 16th. It's a par 5 down the hill, goes slightly to the right. It was downwind. I mean, I was only like, I think I was 17, and I've knocked it like 420 or something. You can hit it miles down this hole. Longest hole out ever is about, actually it'd be my hole in one when I was like 11, technically. No, I holed out at Woodbury Park once from, I think it was 165, something like that, which is about the same yardage as the hole in one I had when I was like 11. It was like 160, except for when I was 11 I hit a 7-wood and it bounced over a bunker, hit a down slope and smashed into the pin and went in the hole. It's probably the worst hole in one you've ever seen. What was your handicap at age of 13? It depends what time it was when I was 13, because I came down a lot that year. I think it came down from either 12 or 13 to 4 or 5. It was around that number, somewhere around that. And then the next year I came down from either 4 or 5 to scratch. When did you decide being a DJ was a bad career choice and that earning money as a pro golfer on tour was much more sensible career path? It was. I remember when I went to perform as a DJ at Elro in Ibiza, and I thought, do you know what? I'd much rather be at home hitting golf balls. The time that I spent in Ibiza DJing was like, it was amazing. The nights in Amnesia. I miss mixing house and techno, and but no, it was good. Like the collaboration I did with Carl Cox. It was good times. It was good times. I mean, me and Mark Knight were literally like that. Patrick Toppin, like some of the nights that me and Patrick Toppin had together, honestly, it was class. And the DJ alongside him was a pleasure. But I decided that just golf was the route. So, recommend some decent restaurants in your area. Wife's birthday and sort of. Recommend some decent restaurants in your area, wife's birthday, that sort of thing. I'm a really fussy eater, so I don't recommend restaurants anywhere, to be honest. Oh, no, Gourmet Burger Kitchen. I don't know, that's like a restaurant, it's more of like go Gourmet Burger Kitchen in Exeter. It's incredible. What's going to get worse, your golf game or your hairline? It's going to be a tight race. My hairline's progressively getting worse, although Reggie was born with a hairline pretty similar to mine already, so I'm wondering whether it's just genetics, but I'm going to say my hairline's going to get a lot worse before my golf gets worse. Do you think long drive will get as big as golf? When was the last time you smoked weed, bruh? I'm not obligated to answer that question. When originally searching for a golf coach, did you by any chance consider Paul Mitchell, Bristol and Clifton Golf Club? And could you talk about some of the camera equipment that you use? I'm tempted to record my golf practices as it seems informative to be able to look back at your swings. It is actually, that's one thing that videoing the lessons with Stuart, for me to be able to look back at 2 hours of footage, because obviously I cut it up to put it in the vlog, so there's actually 2 hours of footage there. For me to be able to look back at that and listen to some of the pointers again is quite handy. As far as the camera equipment goes, I'm going to do a what's in the camera bag video quite soon, so stay tuned for that. Hi Harry, thanks for doing this and offering to give something back to your followers. I've watched your channel for years. I'm 26 now and it's been good to watch you grow as a golfer and man. I feel like we've grown up together. I know we'll never meet, but I'm glad to see you're doing well now with your beautiful family. Thank you very much. Our family is amazing. I love that little boy. If you want to see some of the cutest videos and photos of the world of my little boy, follow me on Instagram. Check out my story. I normally post one photo a day on there. I just can't not take a photo of him each day. He's absolutely, I love him. I deal with some self-confidence issues and can sometimes find it hard to put myself out there. You just seem like a normal guy and it's good to see you putting yourself out there in that way to try and achieve your goals. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos but been too nervous to take that first step. So on that note, I'm just wondering if you can tell me, how big is your asshole? Look, if you're trying to make YouTube videos, even for me now, sitting down talking to the camera, it's strange. It's not like a, I don't know. Even after a year of doing it, there's still a little thing there where you sit down in front of a camera and you get a little bit nervous before you talk to it. Some days I'll completely forget that I'm talking to a camera, but a lot of the time, yeah, when you sit down and you talk to a camera, you're like, this is weird. But yeah, just do it. Just sit down and talk to the camera, and the more you do it, the more you get used to it. It's like golf. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it. When are you going to buy a family car and do a vlog on hitting golf balls at that god-awful work van? And if you could win any car with a hole-in-one, what would it be? No car, right? That is probably one of the best ideas I've had from you guys. All I need is 200 yards of land to be able to put the van on and whack golf balls at. And if I were to win any car with a hole-in-one, it'd be Jaguar F-Type. But the sports version of it, I can't remember, it's the XF or something. It looks insane. I'll bring a picture up on screen of it now, because there was one part of my golf club the other day. What are you thinking what are you thinking during tournaments hole by hole? I mean, score wise. Do you like to keep score, or do you prefer not knowing? I have a problem that I keep thinking about my score, and that puts unnecessary pressure on me. How do you mentally overcome a bad hole? As far as keeping score, my whole life, the whole time I played golf, I've always kept my score in my head, but it doesn't ever put unnecessary pressure on me. It's just so, it's different for I believe it's so different for every person. It's how your mind works, and it's how you talk to yourself on the golf course. Like, if you're the type of person who is all of a sudden gone from being level par to 3 over, and you're going to beat yourself up about it, then it's probably not a good idea knowing your score. If you're I think it's just so, it depends on the person. It really does. Like, I know lots of great players who keep their score in their head, and I know lots of great players who don't keep their score in their head, and then some of them will be like, well, I don't really know. Like, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. How do you mentally overcome a bad hole? I think it's important to let negative emotion out. I think it's important to get cheesed off at yourself a certain amount, because I think there needs to be a relation between a bad shot and negative emotion, because otherwise you could hit a bad shot, have no emotion or positive emotion still, and you'd be telling yourself that that's the right thing to do. It's like hitting a good shot and getting angry at it. You're telling yourself that hitting a good shot is not the right thing to do. I mean, we've all done it. We've hit a really good shot, maybe called it a little bit fat and got a little bit more angry than we should have, but it was still a very good shot, and we beat ourselves up about it, and that's telling ourselves that it's not good to hit a good shot. And then the same thing with not having negative emotion when you hit a bad shot. So you're telling yourself it's okay to hit bad shots. So I think it's important to get a little bit angry, and then as you walk into the next tee, before, a good 30 seconds before you start your pre-shot routine, just completely re-centralize yourself and think, right, okay, course planner out. What was the plan on this hole? Okay, and just get lost forget the previous hole and get lost in the process of the next hole. How do you steady yourself after a really bad golf shot, which could result in a bogey or worse? Yeah, just get lost in the process of the next shot. Just take some deep breaths, move on to the next shot, and just refocus. Just one bad shot. Everyone hits a bad golf shot. That's what you got to remember. You're not going to go out there and hit every single shot perfect. The one thing which a lot of people comment on my channel, which frustrates the shit out of me, is they say, oh, all these players on TV, they just absolutely rip it every time. I'm like, no, they don't. Go to a range at a tour event. It doesn't sound anything like it does on TV. It's the way the microphones pick the sound up. It sounds ripped, but it's not every time. Like, someone has to hit a really, really bad shot on the TV for it to sound that they've thinned it. Someone has to invert shank it for it to sound on camera like they even just thinned it a little bit. How big is James's cock? Have you ever been told that your golf swing, the last part of the follow through, looks very camp, kind of like you've offended a gay man and he snapped around to evil you? No, I haven't. Why and how are you so much bigger than James? Just hard work. Eat a lot more than he does, train harder than he does, I can lift more than he does. I'm just an all-round athlete. He struggles. Have you ever been to Australia? No, I haven't been to Australia. Again, somewhere that I really want to go, and this is all things coming up in the future, hopefully. Why can't you find trousers that fit your legs? Because I'm like 31 waist and 34 leg. I've got ridiculously long legs. Like, my legs take up 90% of my body. It's ridiculous. I'm a relatively new golfer, currently at 20 handicap. What's your best tips for improving? Just get out there and practice as hard as you can and play as much as you can. You know, maybe try and play 2 or 3 rounds a week. I think a lot of it is situational as well when you're out on the golf course. It depends on what your mentality is like. If you go in the trees, you're going to try and play a miracle shot, or are you going to play the percentages and chip it back into the fairway and still have a chance of even making a par, let alone a bogey, which would be, you know, equal to your handicap. Yeah, I think an important thing is to get out there, play as much as you can, and learn different situations on the golf course, so you know how to manage those situations. If that makes sense. Opinions on having 4 wedges in the bags. I think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. I have 4 wedges in the bag. Pitching wedge 50, 54, and 58. Always have done. In fact, at one time I had 5. I took out my I think it was my 5 wood, and I replaced it with a 64-degree wedge, which I used a hell of a lot, believe it or not. Do you have a gym routine for specific days? If so, how do you train on these days? I don't have a gym routine specific for certain days. I have a 2-day split. I just do lower upper. When I was training a lot, it used to be different. It was a 3-day split. It'd be push pull legs, which I'd do 3 days on, 1 day off. But I was training a lot then, and I was eating just so much food. It was a joke. I was eating something stupid like 6 meals a day. 7 meals a day. But no, I don't train on specific days, because if you then say that you say I'm going to do legs on a Tuesday and then you miss the Tuesday, that means that you got to go and do upper body again on the Wednesday. So effectively you're training one muscle group more than the other. So I just do a certain day split. What were you like as a junior? Hot-headed or a calm golfer? I was a mix. When I was a lot younger, I was hot-headed. And then as I grew up, I started to become a lot calmer and understand. Like we said earlier, everyone hits bad golf shots. Ever taped and gagged? Spit or swallow? I think that's enough from Morley. Who's your next YouTube boxing match against? Oh, sorry, wrong channel. Connig. I'm going to absolutely ruin him. Creature, if you watch him. I'm going to absolutely destroy you. It won't be a boxing match. Be full on. Do either MMA or Muay Thai. Ruin him. I'll ruin the boy. Thoughts on Tiger Woods' comeback, and do you think he still has wins left? Like, his comeback has been majestic. Like, it's just been amazing to watch him play like that at the PGA Championship again, even if he didn't win, which I believe he would, and I do believe he could, and I do believe he has wins left in him. Am I favourite ex-YouTuber, and shall I make an appearance back? Yes, Ben. Come on, make an appearance. We'll do a course vlog together. Let's do it. How often do you condition your lid? Daily. I don't think people understand how much maintenance it takes to acquire a lid like I have. So just watch what he's saying. Favourite YouTuber is probably either Joe Rogan or, because I love his podcasts, Peter Finch probably. Peter Finch, most down to earth golf YouTuber there is. What do you think of Tommy Fleetwood? Great guy, cracking lid, good golf swing, good bloke. Favourite football team? I don't follow football. I don't really know much about football at all. If I were to pick a football team, I'd say Real, Barcelona, United probably. Probably be my pick. When I started my tennis pro career, I shared a coach with 3 other players. We courted costs. We also struck up a deal amongst each other to pool prize money for a year. That works as well. So that was the statement. Where do you see yourself as a golf pro in the short and mid-term, making enough money to support your lovely new family? Short term, it's just going to be a massive grind. Like, nothing's going to happen overnight, and when I say overnight, I mean, you know, it can be years. Mid-term, I see myself potentially getting on Challenge Tour. You know, when I say I want to play on the European Tour and compete at a high level, I understand that could be 10 years down the line. I'm not saying that it's going to happen in sort of like 2 years' time. So that's where I see myself, sort of short term and mid term. It's just going to be a long, tough road. Making enough money to support my family is not going to come from playing golf. and I'm not playing golf to make money to support my family. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to compete at golf because that's what I love doing. And if I were to choose to do anything in the world, it would be to be out there on the golf course competing against the best players in the world and just playing golf and having a cameraman maybe follow me around and film it and then put it on YouTube. But as far as making enough money goes to support the family, it's that's not going to come from from playing golf. Not yet. Not for at least another sort of 2 or 3 years. You can't make any money on mini tour golf. Or even, it's tough to make money on Europro. You look at the top guys on Europro, which are leading the order of merit, they made like 30 grand, maybe, something like that. I don't know, I'm probably wrong. 25, 30 grand. And the expenses for their year will be at least 10, 15. They probably have a sponsor, so they probably made, say all that was covered, they might have made like 30 grand, something like that. Until you get on Challenge Tour, even Challenge Tour, it's tough to make a decent amount of money, but until you get on the European Tour, there's really not that much money to be made. So that really isn't the reason that I'm that I'm playing golf. That's not the reason I'm trying to compete. The reason I'm trying to compete is because I love it. The way I'm going to be able to support my family is by this YouTube channel growing, being able to work with sponsors, and create cool content for you guys, which I also love. If I couldn't play golf, I'd be in cinematography. That is my next love, is creating film, making content, and social media. I just like social media in general, the way we can connect with each other, and that's my two favorite things to do, is to play golf and create content. Thank you very, very much for watching. That is questions answered. If I missed you out because I think I messed up a few times and skipped a few, comment down below again and I will answer your questions. Apologies if I've been a little bit crap on the communication front and answering comments. I've been pretty shit over the past week or so. I'm not sure if it's part of an underlying health problem which might need to be sorted, or if it is an illness, because it is reoccurring, so we'll have to see. But thank you all very, very much for watching. Lots of content coming soon. I'm off to Spain in 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. So yeah, hopefully get lots of course vlogs and challenges done out there at the same time. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. See you later. Take care. Bye bye for now. All right then. Yeah. Okay.